Hi, how are you? Welcome to Live United. I'm Kenrick Thomas, the Director of Marketing and Communications for the United Way of St. Lucie County. Each month, we like to have one of our funded partners come on and talk about their organization and how they impact the community. Today, I have Dr. Andrew Passeri from the Hands Clinic. How's everything going?
Very well, thank you. Good to be here.
That's good. That's really good. I'm really happy to have you on.
Thank you.
Now, what is the Hands Clinic for people who don't know?
Sure. The Hands Clinic is a voluntary medical, dental, and mental health clinic, part of the Volunteer in Medicines Network, whose mission is to provide a medical home for people who without health care insurance who are residents of St. Lucie County. So it has been around since 2010.
Great.
And it's currently located at the old Sam's Club on US Highway 1, South US Highway 1 at 3855 in Fort Pierce, just north of Midway Road.
Great. Now, how did this organization come about?
Well, back in 2008, actually, a group of concerned citizens, community agencies, got together to try to address the problem of the medically uninsured in St. Lucie County, at that time numbering around 45,000. They were concerned because not only did these people lack insurance, but that the only place they could get care in the case that they needed it was the local hospital's emergency room. And everybody acknowledges, from the hospital's point of view and from the community's point of view, that the emergency room is really not the best place to get non-emergent care. First of all, that's not what their role is, nor their mission. And secondly, it's a very expensive place in which to get non-emergent care. So they got together and proposed that they create in this county a volunteer in medicine clinic, much the same as Martin County had done years before. And it led to the creation of what we call the Hands Clinic, which stands for Health Access Network Delivery System. It's a mouthful, called Hands, Volunteer in Medicine Clinic. And it opened its doors in October of 2010. At its inception, it was funded through some of the grants from corporations like Walmart and Publix, and from the federal government through its low-income pool program, which was a program set up by the federal government that distributed money to the states, which in turn distributed it to the hospitals in that state to offset their losses from providing care to uninsured people. The state of Florida, like many other states, took a portion of that money, and it found that we could get more bang for the buck, if you would, if they funded or helped support clinics like the Hands Clinic. So in 2010, in addition to those corporate grants I mentioned, there was LIP money, or low-income pool money, that funded the clinic. And that's how it got off the ground.
Now, if someone lives in St. Lucie County and they don't have any health insurance, what are the qualifications they'll need to meet to become a patient at the Hands Clinic?
Sure. First of all, they have to prove that they're a resident, that they're an adult between 18 and 64 years of age, that they have no medical insurance, and that they have been denied coverage under the state's Medicaid program. Their income level has to be at 200% of the federal poverty level, and that this year, it changes every year.
Yes.
This year, it's about $25,000 for an individual. And of course, it goes up proportionally if that is a family of 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a rising scale. So it could be as much as $50,000 or $60,000 a year if you have enough family members that you're supporting.
Yeah.
So if you meet those criteria, and we help you verify that through last year's income tax form, a letter of denial for Medicaid, which we can help get for you, and bringing your Social Security card and a driver's license if you have one to prove your residency is pretty much what you need to become a member of the clinic. And that said, we would encourage individuals that might meet that criteria or think they might to call and to come in and set up an appointment and talk to one of our navigators to find out whether they are. And also, I think I would like to encourage people that while they might not need immediate care, or that's really not the thing that they're thinking about right now, they might want to consider becoming a member of HANDS in the event they need us. So kind of think of it as an insurance policy, if you will. And if they would give us a call at 462-5646, we can set them up to come in and meet with one of our staff to help them become eligible.
Great. Now, once they become a patient,
Right.
what services are available to them?
Sure. Once they become a patient, they would be able to receive general medical or family medical care at the clinic. That would mean the things that you would normally find in a general practitioner's office, routine medical care. We also can provide dental care for them and mental health counseling at the clinic with a counselor. And also, if required and indicated by their condition, we can have them referred to a specialist in medicine. We do have a network of specialists, some of whom come to the clinic and will see you there. Others, we can send you to their private office. Again, that service would be free also.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how it goes. Now, in the event that you had a condition that required hospitalization, we're able to help write that bill off also. The hospitals will forgive that, and generally most of, not all of the medical component of that would also be free of charge. All of the laboratory work that's done by the routine laboratory work that the clinic performs is done through the hospitals, local hospitals' laboratories. They do that free for us. We also have not only the inpatient capability here in this county, but we have a working relationship with the Moffitt Cancer Center in Tampa, so that in some complex cancer patients, if the physicians feel it's indicated, we can have the patient sent there.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Now, you also have a big volunteer staff as well. So volunteers are...
Volunteers, well, all of the medical component of the clinic are volunteers. All of the physicians and dentists are volunteers. And we also have a large cadre of non-medical volunteers who come in and do all of the administrative support work for us. We have a very small, very small paid staff where it would be not possible to put volunteers in because of the scheduling. Yeah, volunteers play a major role in what we do. And they are really the backbone of our ability to deliver these services. We operate on a very small budget. I didn't mention before, but I'm going to mention now that LIP money that we were enjoying back in 2010 evaporated in 2014, and the clinic was left without any funding. Since that time, we have been able to gain access to funding through the generosity of the United Way, through the Children's Services Council, through the county government, and through the Florida Association of Free and Charitable Clinics. In addition to which, we have developed a giving program or a development program wherein the community at large can donate through either events or directly to the HANDS Clinic's mission.
That's really good.
Yeah, very important.
Yes.
Because that's our survival right now.
Yes, that's right. Now, do you know how many patients you serve?
Sure. We serve at any one time. So some patients, it's a fluid number, and let me explain why.
Yes.
You'll get people that eventually will become 65 and they'll go to Medicare, so they lose their eligibility. Some people move out of the county. Some people get jobs that they're not common, but they do get jobs sometimes with health care benefits. So the numbers fluctuates, but it's around 2,500 to 3,000 individuals. That results in anywhere from 7,500 to 10,000 patient visits a year, which is quite a considerable number when you think about it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
so that's really big.
Yeah, it is. It is. And now, no way can we care for the total number of individuals in this county who might be eligible for our services. There are, after all, 72,000 people in St. Lucie County right now that don't have health care insurance. But not all of them, of course, would qualify for us, for our clinic services. But we take care of what we can.
Yes.
And we are the only clinic of its kind in St. Lucie County. There is only HANDS, or the VIM HANDS Clinic, that is a totally free service for our folks.
That's really great. Now, funding is really big and it's essential to the VIM clinic. Do you
Yeah.
have any events coming up?
Yeah. Actually, we have a major event, a fundraiser. It's probably the fundraiser of the year for us. It's called Docs Rock. It's a fun night at the Sunrise Theater. This year it's on March 31st.
Okay.
And it's a fun night where we have bands. This year we have 3. These bands are totally comprised of physicians. And they'll be there, the 3 different bands, and they're going to have a playoff, if you will.
Nice.
So what they do to make it a real enjoyable night, they remove the first few rows of seats in front of the stage, and they make it a big dance floor.
Yeah.
And I defy anybody to sit through the entire evening without wanting to get up and at least move their legs around a little bit. It's quite a night. The bands are all different. They play all sorts of music, and they're all in kind of genres are all different. So it's a real fun night, and it's actually a major fundraiser. And without it, and fundraising events like it, which we try to run monthly, by the way, through a program I'm going to talk a little bit about in a second.
Yes.
It's through these fundraising programs that we overall are able to get anywhere from $100,000 to $120,000 in community donations a year. That's a very significant number for us. I know some other counties might have more wealth and can earn more money there on their own, but we do very well, and our residents and our people who donate to us are really fine folks, and they do the best they can, and we're very grateful for what we get. A few years ago, there was a special program developed as a fundraising a venue, and it's called the Julia Project, Jewlia, Julia. And it's a takeoff on a book written many years ago by 12 women, a true story about 12 women living in California, and they wrote a book together about their adventure. It's called The Necklace, and it's a story about these women wanting to own a diamond necklace, which none of the 12 could afford individually, so they pooled their funding together. And the agreement was that they would get to wear it, each of them, for 1 month a year. Well, we were very fortunate in having Greg Childress develop as a piece of jewelry for us a diamond necklace, which he donated to the clinic. And we have 12 women, and they're not the same 12 women. They kind of rotate. But we have 12 women in any one year whose agreement is that they would donate $1,000 or run a fundraiser that would earn at least $1,000. And for that, they get a chance to wear this necklace. And actually, Greg's developed a pair of earrings to go along with it, and they get a chance to wear that for a month a year. So this Julia Project has been running now for a few years, and it's been an extremely successful venue for fundraising for the clinic. This Docs Rock is a Julia, Ladies with Julia project, and sponsored this, by Ladies with Julia. So we're very grateful to have these women donate their time and their treasure to the support of the Hands Clinic.
That's really phenomenal.
Isn't it, though?
Yes, that's really phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get involved with the Hands Clinic?
Well, I was retired. I'm a retired hospital administrator, and it's kind of a funny story. I have a neighbor who was a volunteer donor to the mustard seed program.
Okay.
And part of mustard seed through Stacy's program is that each year they would go visit a house, tour a home, and as part of their fundraising effort, they get 2 buses and fill each bus with 50 people, and 100 people would come tour your house. Well, my neighbor did that one year, and the second year she was asked again to do it, and but she was going to be away. So she asked me one day, as I was on the street walking my dog, if I would be willing to do that.
Yes.
I thought she meant minding her house. Actually, she wanted me to use my house, which I did. Well, that's where I met Stacy. And Stacy started in my kitchen, around my kitchen table. We were chatting while this event was going on, and she began describing her role as a board member for the Hands Clinic and what it did. And she asked me if I would come by. They were in the process of looking for somebody to run it, a new person, and would I have any interest? So I came by and took a tour, and I told her I would help her out for a short while. Well, after you get into that clinic and you see what's going on, you kind of develop a passion and a belief in what their mission really is. And I couldn't let go of it. So I agreed to come on as their director, and I did that for the past. I've done that for just almost 5 years now.
That's really good, and it's really been impactful.
Yeah, it sure has.
So, if someone wants more information about the Hands Clinic, how can they reach out to you?
They should reach out to us by dialing 772-462-5646. They'll get all of the information they need to know from the person who will answer the phone. And appointment can be made right then about coming in. She's the person who will talk to a potential patient, will tell them what they need to bring. And if they don't have it all, they still can come in.
Yes.
And we can set up a time for meet our navigators and kind of go through what you have. And, as I said, we can help with the Medicaid letter of denial, which is what you need for Medicaid.
Yes.
And that's not terribly difficult to get. And we can give you the direct number in which you can get last year's taxes, or if you have a copy, it's great. If you filed, if you didn't file, we have a special number with the Internal Revenue Service that'll give you a letter of non-filing that proved that you didn't file taxes. And that in and of itself will show that your income was far lower than required by law to file.
Yes. That's good. That's really good. Now the Pediatric Oral Health Program that you have at the Hands Clinic.
This is kind of a unique program.
Yes.
As I said early on, this program is meant for adults, but it does have a pediatric component, not in the clinic per se. This program is actually located in all the schools in St. Lucie County. It's funded entirely through a grant from the United Way through its Standish Grant Program, which we're so grateful for, and the Children's Services Council. They fund all of this for us. Essentially what it is a screening program, a dental screening program. Sounds simple, but the ramifications of it are enormous. We have a dental hygienist, Irvin Valsad is his name, and Irvin's job is to go into the schools and to screen these children for dental disease. He then will contact the parents or guardians of those children in the event he finds it, to encourage them to go see a dentist. Now, in Florida, most of the children are covered for these services under the Medicaid program, so the chances are they can get to see a dentist, most of them. The ones that can't, we can help also. So he will screen these children, and again, for dental disease. And he's been doing this program since the clinic's inception in 2010. He has screened, somewhere around 12,000 children last year alone. 11,900 last year to be precise. And he has so far seen 6,300 this school year so far. And he goes from school to school throughout the county, and he also does Head Start programs and day programs where he screens these children. Now, he also has a companion program called a dental sealant program. And that is where we put this sealant on children's molars in around the 4th grade. That will prevent dental caries in their molars until they're into their adult age group. He also has a diamine program. It's called a sodium diamine program, where they put this sealant. It's sort of a sealant on children smaller than that. That will actually prevent dental caries because of it. It's a new program. He hopes to expand it beyond the few hundred that he's done so far. But between them all, he has seen about 600 children with the sealant program. And most importantly, we need to remember that what the impact of this is. First of all, untreated dental disease, which is what would happen to these children if they hadn't seen Irvin, is that they develop tremendous pain, often misdiagnosed, and they would begin acting out in school, and they think it's a behavioral problem. Well, it could be, but the behavioral problem is related directly to the pain they're having in their mouth. And as we know, untreated dental disease leads to cardiac disease very quickly in an adult, years after the neglected teeth are not attended to, for sure. And now, recently, some of the recent scientific literature has linked dental disease to dementia. So dental disease is not just that you have an uncomfortable toothache. It affects the rest of the human body, as most systems within the body do. They're not independently run. You know, we're all kind of an interconnected, magnificent specimen of a creature called a human being. But it's all moving parts for one purpose. And so so dental disease untreated is a very serious issue. This program, again, preventative medicine's whole idea is to prevent the thing from happening as opposed to treating it once you have it. That's why prevention is the better way, the cheaper way, and the more effective way of controlling issues, from whether it be medical or dental. But in the case of this program, it has reduced the incidence of dental caries, dental disease, over 50%. They used to be half of the children or more, maybe 60% of the children that Irvin would see initially had presented with dental disease. It's down to about 20% now. It's an amazing reduction.
Wow.
But this goes to show you, he teaches them how to use a toothbrush. In most instances, we give them a toothbrush and a toothpaste because some of these kids don't have a toothbrush, or if they have one, everybody in the family shares it.
Oh, wow.
Yep, yeah, they do. And so we have toothbrushes and toothpaste that we hand out and floss and teach them how to brush their teeth. And most children, they love to do it because they like to taste toothpaste, and they'll do it. They'll brush their teeth, and it proves in the statistics that it does work. So it's a very inexpensive way overall of providing a very, very necessary and kind of life-changing program early on in life, and it does these children a world of good because at the other end of the spectrum, some of the adult patients that we see in that clinic with dental disease, I have to tell you, is rather horrific.
Wow.
Rather horrific. And it's a serious problem. It leads to unemployment because they can't smile or they can't open their mouth because they have no teeth or they have ugly looking teeth. So people are unemployed because of it. People are in constant uncomfortableness or pain because of it. And again, then we have the leading to heart disease, and now we think dementia because of it. So it's an extremely important component of what we do. Again, it's all done in the school system. So he goes there. Unfortunately today, fortunately for the children, he's with them.
Yes.
And unfortunately for us, he isn't here to join us, but he couldn't rearrange the schedule this morning. He has to go by what the schedules that the schools give him, and he was required to be there today during our time. So,
yes.
But Irvin is doing a magnificent job. He's a one-man band.
Wow.
He's like the Energizer Bunny. I don't know how he does it, but he does.
Now, that's a fantastic program.
Yeah.
How did it get started?
Well, it got started again because of the interest in the medical community about the children not having any attention paid to their teeth at all, even though they have dental care as a covered service. Most of them are in so bad a shape when they go to a dentist. They usually wait, like a lot of people do. They wait until they can't take the pain. That's kind of late in the game.
Yes.
And it's a very expensive way to work. So again, it's a cost-driven thing in the sense that, my goodness, if we can get people to brush their teeth and keep them clean, they won't get as many cavities. Maybe they won't get any cavities, and thus the need for dental care is, significantly reduced. So part of it was generated through an early interest in trying to reduce dental costs, but it also was recognized in the medical community that this was another component. Personally, I have a pet peeve with insurance over this, and the reason is, why do we single out dental insurance as something segregated from the rest of the human body? Since when are the teeth, something foreign? They're no different than, having insurance for your feet or your arms or your hands. They're part of you. So when you buy insurance for health insurance, it should include the whole person.
Yes.
Not just everything but teeth.
Yes.
And I could never understand it, although I kind of know the history of this whole thing goes back a couple of 100 years when the dentists were fighting with barbers and doctors were at that time fighting with dentists. And this goes back to the 1800s when everybody had their own ego-driven thing going. And so they kind of like separated all of this. Well, there are separate specialties, of course. A dentist is not a physician, and a physician is not a dentist. And I'm not suggesting that one do the other's work. What I am suggesting is they both recognize it's all part of the same system.
Absolutely.
And a dentist ought to be treated like a specialist, like any other specialist that a physician would refer them to, or vice versa. And if a dentist sees something clinically going on in a person's mouth, and I know they do it, but they should do it as part of one system. Insurance-wise, is what I'm speaking of here. Yeah.
Great. Now, how can parents get in if a parent has a child and they want them to get involved with this program? How would they go about doing that?
In the schools, these children can be signed. They sign up in the schools, in the school system, and Irvin, they'll go. The school announces the fact that Irvin's coming. They help them, get the word out, and then this child will be scheduled. Irvin is given a schedule at what day he would be at what school. And the children sign that they want to, they want to be seen, and the parent, to get parental permission, of course. And if the parent agrees, and most parents will, because it's there and it's not it doesn't cost them anything.
Yes.
And it's the benefit of their child. And most parents are concerned about that.
Yes.
And so it's pretty simple. And when the day that Irvin rolls into that school, they line up the kids and they bring them in, and Irvin does the exam, and then he kind of teaches them a little bit about good oral hygiene, and they move on to the next child.
Great. Yeah. Now, for one last time, if there's someone out there who wants to get involved with the Hands Clinic,
yes,
how can they
contact you? First of all, I would encourage anybody who doesn't have health care insurance to call us to find out whether they qualify, even if you don't think you need a doctor, even if you're healthy as a horse. If you fit into the categories to come to that clinic, you ought to sign up and become a member. You can do that by first calling 772-462-5646. From that point forward, we work with you and try to get you in, provided you qualify. And initially, when you come in and are qualified, right then and there, we'll make an appointment for you to at least get a physical. And everybody can benefit from a physical. So you get a physical, we can give you a flu shot if you haven't had one, and that sort of thing, and kind of get a history of where you are. And if you're taking medications for something else, whether it be over the counter or a prescription, we can put that all in your medical record and have a baseline for you. And then if you don't need an appointment, you don't need to schedule a future appointment, but when you aren't feeling well, you can call us and make an appointment and come in.
Great.
So,
That's really good. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Really great program, and you guys really do impact the community.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, and I want to thank the United Way for their support.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching.